A Plaguelands Media production.
Hey everyone, this is Hugh from Plaguelands Media bringing you another RPG review video today. Today I want to look at something that is very near and dear to my heart, even though I kind of stay away from this company. But I want to look at role-playing games that are set specifically in the IP of Games Workshop's Warhammer 40k, and Age of Sigmar. Now, I have played a few of their games back in the day. My friend and I, Mr. Ian Van Gammett, used to play Mordheim every weekend. My little dwarves were stunty bastards, impossible to knock over. Absolutely loved them. We have played some Warhammer 40k back in the day with the stupid Battle for Macragge set where whoever was the Space Marines couldn't fucking win because the Tyranids were just too overpowered. Sorry, I'm letting my anger get the best of me. That was a very frustrating day for me, Ian. Okay. And another one with, I think, Dark Angels and Gene Stealer Cultist or something, Cultist, Chaos Cults or something. Anyway, I absolutely love the worlds of Warhammer 40k, the old world, and I'm even a huge fan of Age of Sigmar, even though when it first came out, I poo-pooed the idea. So I want to have a look at some of the role-playing games that have come out for these. And because we've got the space motif here, we're going to start with Wrath and Glory Warhammer 40k role-playing. Let me just adjust the camera a little bit. There we go. Now, I'm not going to go over the rules. If you want me to do a deep dive into them at some point, I'm more than happy to do that. But I just wanted to show you the book and kind of what they are going for. So it begins with basically a deep dive into the history of Warhammer 40k, the world. We get our introduction, what is a role-playing game, some fantastic art here. And then we get the Dark Imperium. So this is basically all of your background information and history. Everything you could possibly want to know about Warhammer 40k, races, orcs, Tau, Tyranids, Drukhari, Horus Heresy. We get a map, Imperius Dominatus, the Dark Imperium, different systems. That is 43 pages. And it's a phenomenal read, an absolutely phenomenal read. I would say this book is worth it just to read all that. It's awesome. So, so good. Then we get the rules system, which, just how to fail or pass tests, keywords. This is a D6 system, so it's mainly running on D6s, which is really good. It's kind of simplistic, but it can get very deep, so kind of just be aware of that. Different like wrath points, things like that. Then we move on to character creation. Now, in Warhammer 40k, you can be absolutely anything that you can think of. However, there are kind of game power levels. So you're not going to have two characters are Space Marines, one character is a Rogue Trader, or something like that. The DM will determine what sort of a power build level they want, and that's how many points you have to buy skills and things like that. So, character creation archetypes. Adeptus Ministorum, Adeptus Sororitas, Astra Militarum, Adeptus Astartes, Agents of the Imperium, Adeptus Mechanicus, Scum, Renegades, Aldari, and Orcs. Now, this is primarily a game of cooperation. That is not to say that perhaps an Orc wouldn't join. You can think of it's role-playing. You can think of the story that has like one lone Orc working with Sisters of Battle or something like that. Like, you've just got to use your imagination, but it's just so fucking cool, in my opinion. Attribute points, talent list. It goes through it pretty comprehensively. So it's one of the better character creation sections that I've read. Select the species. Okay. Human. Eldar. Orc. Adeptus Astartes, which is your Space Marine characters. Space Marine chapters, Blood Angels, Dark Angels, Imperial Fists, Iron Hands, Raven Guard, Salamanders, best fucking chapter. Space Wolves and Ultramarines. Boo, Ultramarines. Yay, Salamanders. Okay. So selecting an archetype. Customizing. So you can be like the Adeptus Ministorum, like the priests. They can be a Ministorum priest. They can be a Crusader, or they can be a Death Cult assassin. Adeptus Sororitas, Sisters of Battle. Astra Militarum. You can be a Commissar. You can be an Imperial Guardsman. Tempest Scion. Agents of the Imperium. There are so many choices, which is what I absolutely love about this game. So many choices. Whatever you want to be. Space Marines. Adeptus Mechanicus. You can be a Tech Priest. Skitaris. Scum. You can be a Ganger. You can be Scurvy. You can be Desperado. The Renegades. This is your Chaos people. You can be a Cultist. Heretic. You can be a Rogue Psyker. Chaos Space Marine if you want to be. So you're not limited by playing these so-called good guys. If you want to have a campaign where you're Chaos and you're going around like trying to hunt Chaos relics and things like that, it's doable. There are so many books out there, like trilogies of Warhammer 40k novels that focus on like a Chaos Priest or Chaos Space Marines or something like that. So you're only limited by, your imagination. You can be the Eldar, which is cool. You can be Orcs. Imagine a campaign where all of your characters are just fucking Orcs. Like that just screams awesome. Then you kind of make attributes. This is all still character creation. This is almost 100 pages of character creation, which you would think makes it complicated, but it's kind of not. The Imperial Creed. Okay, all that kind of good stuff. Character advancement. Your characters can level up. They can get better as the campaign goes on. Ascending. Then we have our combat, which is really important in a Warhammer 40k game, like the rules for combat. Typical initiative, rolling to hit, melee actions, what do you want to do, all that kind of good stuff. Nothing overly new, nothing that kind of jumps out. Adventuring, like different hazards, the environmental hazards, social interactions, investigating, all that kind of good stuff. Influences, wealth, resting, war gear, all your weapons, what they look like, bolters, flame guns, plasma cannons, chainswords. Vehicles, if you want to use rhinos and whatnot. Psychic powers, if you're a psyker, you can get all kinds of cool psychic powers, which are all kind of taken from the game. Malignancies, if you're getting touched by chaos. The Games Master, just stuff that players shouldn't read. Let's skip over that. Bestiary, what the players can fight. Different threats. Imperials. Veteran troopers. Explorers. Chaos. Space Marines. Pretty much everything is here. Rogue Psychers, all that kind of good stuff. Just their stats, stat blocks. Oh, Gene Stealers. Fuck off, Tyranids. Don't like you. And then just some Wrath and Glory stuff at the end there. Role-playing in the grim darkness of the 41st millennium. Okay. Wrath and Glory. Love the rule set. Love the I love the fact that it is so open for whatever your Dungeon Master wants to run. Excuse me, just grabbing a drink. If you want to be Space Marines who have been trapped on a Chaos planet, you can be. If you want to be Eldar, if you want to be Orcs, trying to, get the power of the Wa, you can do that. It's so open, only limited by what your Games Master can come up with and what you can come up with. The one thing I will say about Wrath and Glory, you need a session 0 for this. You need to sit down with your players and say, what sort of a game do you want to play? And then tailor it around that. There are a lot of different supplements for Wrath and Glory. This is one of the rare games where I don't actually have any of the supplements. But fantastic. Really, really cool. Okay, up next. Warhammer Fantasy Role-Playing. A Grim World of Perilous Adventure. I believe this might be the 4th edition. I'm not quite sure. But this is Old World Warhammer Fantasy Role-Playing. I had this, an earlier edition of this. I've played a few games of it. I love the rule set. I love the character creation in this game. It is really, really cool. But the best thing about Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, it's set in the Old World. The Old World was is still one of the most beautifully crafted fantasy lore-rich worlds around. And that is due in part to the talent that worked at Games Workshop back in the day that created all of these different lands, all these different armies. I really want to see a return of the Chaos Dwarves. Not sure if we're going to, but there you go. So, open it up. The first thing you get is this beautiful map of Reichland. Okay. Introduction, how to use the book. Fantastic art, of course. Some flavor text. Just kind of setting the mood. Not like you really need the mood to be set, but there you go. And characters. Now, the thing about this game is you can pick your race, your profession. However, if you randomize it, you get more points. I always love randomizing. I think it's fun. It works so well in a game like Conan Adventures in an Age Undreamed Of. Races, you can be human, halfling, dwarf, high elf, or wood elf. But if you notice, human, if you roll 1 to 90, you're a human. If you roll 91 to 94, you're a halfling. 95 to 98, you're a dwarf. 99, you're a high elf. 100, you're a wood elf. Chances are, if you randomize, you're going to be a human. But if you want to be one of the other races, you can actually pick that. Just kind of shows you what each one is. And then class and career. Again, this is all randomized rolling, but if you have your heart set on something, you can pick it. And, you know, you basically form your party. How to advance gives you an idea of the character sheet. Classes and careers. What your characteristics are, what your stats are going to be, what your talent score is going to be. So we have apothecary, engineer, lawyer, nun, physician, priest, scholar, wizard, agitator, artisan, beggar, investigator, merchant, rat catcher, townsman, watchman, advisor, artist, duelist, envoy, noble, servant, spy, warden, bailiff, hedge witch, herbalist, hunter, miner, mystic, scout, villager, bounty hunter, coachman, entertainer, flagellant, messenger, peddler, road warden, witch hunter, boatman, huffer, river warden, river woman, seaman, smuggler, stevedore, wrecker, board, charlatan, fence, grave robber, outlaw, racketeer, thief, witch, cavalryman, guard, knight, pit fighter, protagonist, slayer, soldier, and warrior priest. Now, the way this works is you start out as something fairly weak. So you might start out as, for example, let's find you might start out as a miner, okay? And your career paths will kind of help you. And then ultimately you can either continue and become better in your chosen career, or you can switch it up and kind of move to something else. It's a really fun and interesting way to do character progression. I really like it. Skills and talents section, languages. It's not a bad system. It can be a little convoluted, but you know what kind of system isn't. And then the rules reference here shows you which page to find which rules on, how to do tests, resolving actions, outcomes table, all that kind of stuff. Once you understand the way tests work and things like that, it kind of does become second nature. But again, that's the same for all game systems. What I liked about the earlier edition, and you can see with like the critical wounds table, is you can actually randomize what happens when you hit someone. So if you, let's say you do a critical wound to the head, then you roll your percentage dice, and let's say you get a 49. Struck forehead. A solid blow thumps into the center of your forehead. Gain 2 bleeding conditions and a blinded condition that cannot be removed until all bleeding conditions are removed. To kind of simulate, you get the cut above your eye, like boxers get, and blood is in your eye. And you've got the head, arm, body, and leg table, and it can just be really funny. Sometimes, how to get medical attention, what happens with corruption, disease, infection, all that kind of stuff. Then we get religions and beliefs. So we have the gods of Reichland, Manon, Moor, Mermidia, Reynald, Haya, Shala, Sigma, Tal, Ulrich, Verena, Dwarven ancestor gods, halfling gods, elven gods, and chaos gods. Chaos gods, of course, being Khorne, Tzeentch, Slaanesh, and Nurgle. Different blessings, different miracles you can do, different magic, like different spells from, as you know, when you play Old World Warhammer, your wizard picks like a group of spells. Could be death, could be shadow, could be life. We get a bit about Reichland, politics, everything like that. Consumer's guide, how much stuff costs, which is, really cool. Armor, books, documents, all that cool stuff. Bestiary. We have the people, ogres, animals, monsters, basilisk, bog octopus, cave squig, demigryph, dragons, fen beasts, Femir, which that's going back. They used to have those in Hero Quest, if I remember rightly. Giants, griffins, hydra, jabberslyths, manticores. Then we get trolls, greenskin, so orcs, goblins, and snotlings. The restless dead, skeleton zombies, direwolves, crypt guards, vargulls, tomb banshees, vampires, ghosts. Then the chaos beastmen, gores, ungores, minotaurs, bray shaman, chaos cultists, chaos warrior, demons, bloodletter of Khorne, demon head of Slaanesh, demon prince Skaven, and basically what all the traits on these creatures are. And we have our character sheets and our index at the end. Now, really good game. Really good game. For this edition, they actually re-released one of the most popular campaigns from back in the day, and that was the Enemy Within campaign. So I'm going to quickly show you that. I don't have all of the books. I've only got part 1, which is Enemy in Shadow. And this is basically kind of a complete beginning to the campaign itself. Gives you all kind of the background information, how to start the adventure, the different NPCs that you kind of meet along the way. And it starts with a case of mistaken identity that ultimately leads to a battle against chaos and trying to stop chaos coming through with some beautiful maps and everything. It's great. It's really cool. It also comes with this fantastic companion book, Enemy in Shadow, that just gives you like a little bit more to flesh out, some Easter eggs to throw in there for your players, and the stats to different things that they're going to meet along the way. Explains how to travel, all that kind of stuff. You don't need this at all. It's not necessary. It's just bonus stuff that as a GM you can kind of throw in there to kind of flesh the campaign out a little bit more. Completely optional. Everything you need is in here. This is just part 1. There are more parts to this campaign, but I do not have them yet. Finally, we move on to Soulbound. Perilous Adventures in the Mortal Realms. This is Age of Sigmar role-playing. Now, for those of you who don't know what Age of Sigmar is, this was Games Workshop moving away from their old world and into a system that was more akin to Warhammer 40k with the round bases and whatnot. The old world gets destroyed by Nagash, the Lord of Undead, and eventually the mortal realms are formed. Sigmar kind of comes back, creates the Stormcast Eternals. There are, I think, 9 different mortal realms. I could be wrong on that. But all of the races are there, like Chaos, humans, dwarves, 2 types of dwarves. You've got Dark Elves now. You've got Idoneth Deepkin, which are kind of the elves that were devoured by Slanesh and kind of spewed out into an ocean. The High Elves are back. The Sylvaneth are like the forest creatures with the walking trees and stuff. You've still got your Skaven. You've got all kinds of undead in the Night Haunt, the vampires, the ghouls, and I believe they're the Ossiarch Bone Reavers or Bone Reapers. Can't quite remember now. A whole lot of different stuff. Now, Soulbound is really interesting because usually, when I show you the character creation and the races, usually they're not working together. But in this case, they are. So, again, wicked flavor text. Fantastic art. Character creation. Creating a character. Choose your archetype. Species. So you can be human. You can be a Stormcast Eternal. You can be an elf. You can be a Durden, which is a dwarf. You can be Sylvaneth. Basically, this is basic character creation. Picking your stats, getting the party together. Questions to ask yourself to do the finishing touches. Advancement, character sheet explanation. Okay. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. So with the archetypes, after you've picked your race, then you pick kind of what almost like a class, what class you kind of want to be. So the free people, you can be a battle mage, Blood Art Corsair, Darkling Sorceress, War Priest, Trader. Okay, so if you're an elf or a human, these are the choices you have. Not bad. If you've decided to go Daughters of Cain, you can be a hag priestess or a witch elf. If you are a dwarf, you can be a fire slayer, a runesmith or a battlesmith, or a doom seeker. These are like the old troll slayers back in the day. If you want to be an Ideneth Deepkin, you can be an Arcalian emissary or a soul scryer or a tidecaster. Caradron Overlords, these are your kind of mechanical dwarves, the engineers. Ether Chemist, Endrin Master Skyrigger, Stormcast Eternal. You can be a Knight Azeros, Knight Incantor, Knight Quester, Knight Venator, Sylvaneth. You can be a Branch Witch. You can be a Kurnoth Hunter, Tree Revenant. Now, usually these races and groups wouldn't be working together. In the case of this game, your party is soulbound, meaning they are intrinsically connected to one another. They have all been brought together for a specific purpose. That is why you might have a Fire Slayer fighting next to a Kurnoth Hunter, fighting next to a Hag Priestess. Because all of your gods, deities, whatever, have sent you there for a specific purpose. Hence the name Soulbound in the title. That's really cool. Typical skills and talents, what they each do. A lot of them, of course. Equipment. Nothing new here. How to complete your test. This is the rules in Chapter 6. Soulfire and Doom. How to do combat. Again, I'm not going to go into the rules because that would really take a long time. Just wanted to give you an overview. Then we get the mortal realms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 mortal realms. Okay. We have the realm of heavens, the realm of fire, the realm of metal, the realm of beast, the realm of life, the realm of light, the realm of death, and the realm of shadow. Now, in Age of Sigmar, people can freely travel to all of these realms via gates. The novels explain it all, as does the rulebooks for the game. This just gives you an overview of what sort of things would be found on each of the realms. Gairan, Hish, Shaish, and Ulgu, the realm of shadow, and then the chaos realms, or the realms of chaos. Okay. Collegiate Arcane. So these are just the different groups, different covens, devoted to Sigmar, free people, what their goals are, what their ideals are. Ideneth Deepkin, Caradron Overlords, Scourge Privateers, Stormcast Eternals, Sylvaneth, the Great Parch, Coming of Chaos. Okay. So this is basically the land where they kind of want you to start in. Gives you an idea of all the cities, things like that. A lot of information here, which is always good. Religions and belief. So we have Sigmar, Nagash, the Lord of the Undead, Alariel, who is the Sylvaneth goddess, Gorka Morka, because what Warhammer game wouldn't have giant, brutish fucking orcs. Grimnir, the dwarven god. Grungni. Malarian. Marathi. If you played Dark Elves back in the day, you would know who Marathi was. Teclis. If you played High Elves, you'd know who Teclis is. Khorne. Nurgle. Slaanesh. Tzeentch. The Great Horned Rat. God Beast, the Chosen. Then we have Magic. Lore of Magic. How to do spell casting. Common spells you can cast. From different schools. Spells of the Deep, that kind of a thing. Endless spells. The role of the Games Master. Making it feel like Age of Sigmar. Very important. Bestiary, my favorite part of the book. So we have the stats for the people, pets and mounts, Griffhounds, Griff Charger, monstrous beasts, Magmadroth, Maw Crusher. If you've ever played or watched anyone playing Age of Sigmar, like miniwargaming.com, Rerolling Ones, Rogue Element Gaming, who play mainly 6th edition, but you can still see some of these cool stuff. Disciples of the Dark Gods, so like Chaos Priests, Blades of Khorne, Bloodletters, Disciples of Tzeentch, Hedonites of Slaanesh, one of the best looking armies in Age of Sigmar, Magakin of Nurgle, gross. And then Children of the Horned Rat, Gutter Runners, Rat Ogre, Vermin Lord Decimator, Legions of Nagash, Flesh Eater Courts, that's the ghouls, Ossiarch Bone Reapers, Greenskin Hordes, different conditions you can get, and then the character sheets and the index. I was skeptical when I read that they were making an Age of Sigmar role-playing game. When the book arrived and I read it, I was absolutely over the moon at the lore, how they fit it all together, and how they made it feel like Age of Sigmar. Also, how they made it feel very different from Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, which I think is important to separate the two. They are two completely different games set in two completely different worlds. So, what do I think about Warhammer and Warhammer 40k role-playing games? Fucking love them. Love the IP. Think it's brilliant. Enemy in Shadow. I think Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay is phenomenal. If I had to pick a favorite, however, I'm going to go Wrath and Glory. I just love the idea of you being able to tailor a campaign to, we want to be orcs, or we want to be chaos space marines, we want to be ultramarines, and we want to just go out there and kick ass. I think that's so much fun and so fucking flavorful. Okay, we are going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Otherwise, please, everybody, stay safe. Have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll see you in the next video.